Hello, welcome to this month's podcast. And this month we're looking all at customer reactivation, which is a bit of a secret weapon for your business, really. It's one that I just feel too many people overlook. And it's one of these things you'll hear us say it a lot. It's like being able to turn a tap on for your business. There are so many examples of people making serious money without having to meet new customers. And I know that makes it sound really, really easy, and it isn't necessarily that easy, but it is a big, big weapon in your armoury. It's something that you can do tonight, today, tomorrow, straight away, that will get loads of money in. Because you've got to think about it like this. The most difficult thing you can do in business, I think, is to get a complete stranger to part with their cash. Because there's so many steps they need to go through. They need to work out if you're the right thing for them, if the product that you have is the right thing for them, are you the right person for them? There's all these kind of things that go through part of that. So once you've got that person, it's massively, massively easier. Is that even English? Perhaps probably not. It is loads easier to get them to buy again than it is to get them to buy that first time. So when you've got them there, you've got to start to do stuff with them. And it's a really kind of big thing, this. And it isn't necessarily as easy as kind of pie or anything else that's particularly easy. But it is something that everyone can do. As soon as you've got your first customer, you can offer them other things to buy. You can offer them upgrades. You can offer them the same product again and again and again. You think about kind of the mobile phone market, for example. Effectively, it's the same thing with different upgrades. People will buy, I'm a terrible example of this. I've got loads of pairs of the same pair of shoes, if that makes sense, because there's a great shoe company I know. They know that what I buy, and every now and then they'll just tell me about the new version, or more likely the same version again, because shoes run out. Hey Paul, it's been 6 weeks. Have you done this? Great example probably from the salon, Julia.
Yeah, we've got loads of examples in the salon. And I also want you to think about the last time that you heard from a company. We've all been out for great meals, and in our mind, must go back there, or someone's recommended a really good restaurant for you to go to. And you want to go, but you never quite get round to it. I've bought clothes from places, I've had great service from lots of venues, from lots of businesses, and then never hear from them again. And I forget to go back. And the amount of times, why don't we come here more often? And we haven't, because we haven't heard from them. They've not been in contact. The best example, and I've used it a few times, is where I had my wedding. I got married a couple of years ago, a fabulous hotel out in the Leicestershire countryside. So they know all about us. They know the day we got married. They knew everything about us, our ages and everything. And I never heard a word from them. That hotel has now closed. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but certainly I expected to hear from them on our anniversary. We almost certainly would have gone for a meal if they'd offered us, say, but even a glass of wine or a glass of product, we would have gone along. But I just never heard from them, so they'd gone off my radar. I'd completely forgotten about them. I know they brought in new champagne breakfast. We definitely would have gone along and done that and read Sunday newspapers. I never heard from them. And it was an easy way for people. We admired them. They give great service. We had a lovely day. The food, the comments, everything was great. And I've never been back. I never went and spent again with them because they completely ignored me after I'd paid for my wedding with them.
I think the big thing, it takes a bit of thought here because, on one level, it's difficult for that place because they've probably got loads and loads of customers. So, the things, it's really, if you've got 10 to 12, 15, 20, 50, 30 customers, then it becomes a lot easier because you can put thought into each one. If you've got hundreds and hundreds, it becomes a bit harder, but there is still something that you can do to push them forward. What you'd like to think somewhere like that great hotel is that they could have segmented their database and looked at, the people they've got day to day, great, fine, that's there. But what could they do? And I'll be quite mercenary about this. What can we do to extract money from people that we know will spend money? Weddings aren't cheap. They know that, these people are likely to have a bit of money. If they're really smart about it. And I'm reminded of a great restaurant in Newark. And what they will do, they've got this private dining room upstairs. So they go to their best customers and offer them a chance to have that. So Paul, we know your 40th birthday is coming up. We know you've got a special birthday coming up. I've held the room on that night for you. It's free. That's our gift. If you'd like to fill it with 12 people, we'll give them a great deal. Now, that's not a particularly great email, but the thought process is right. And you can go to these people, and they're much more likely to do it. And I think the big thing in customer activation, reactivation, I can say it. The big thing in customer activation that people miss is the opportunity to build the relationship. Yes, it does bring in a load more cash, but it also cements the relationship. You as a client become so much more than just a wallet. And I get it. When people do it to me, I get that they're asking for more money, but it's a nice thing. If your favourite restaurant rang you and said, "Hey, Paul, one of our top customers, really appreciate it. We've got a space come up in our room, upstairs, private dining, in 4 weeks' time. Would you like to have it?" Now, some people will say yes, some people will say no. Chances are you're filling it on a date where it's not going to be for a midweeker. You can do that kind of stuff. Some people say yes, some people no, but at least I feel like you give a damn about me. And you know what? You're probably not going to have to make that many phone calls to find someone that says, "You know what? Yeah, I will do that."
I don't want to do lots of restaurant examples, but I will just share something that happened, and someone's using Facebook to reactivate and to kind of get us back. We went out to a really nice restaurant out near Melbourne called the Amalfi White. I'm sure some of you know of it. Probably a bit overpriced for the food, but absolutely gorgeous venue and a stunning garden. And they've been advertising there sort of Saturday afternoon, come and join us in the garden. And we went along, but sadly it was one of the Saturdays recently where it's been pouring down with rain. And we spoke to the girl and we had a bit of a laugh and it's no problem, nice table inside. The following week I had a message on Facebook from her, from them basically, and basically said, "We know you missed out, we know the sun wasn't shining," and they gave me a deal to go back to their garden the following week. We couldn't go this time, but I just thought that was just so clever. She'd listened, obviously it had been fed back, and they were using social media as another method to kind of get me involved, and they showed pictures of the garden in the sun, and I wanted to go. So it's just, there's lots of different ways of doing it. In the salon, we do loads. We all have clients. You don't want a client that's just going to come in and spend once. That's the whole point of this, really. And a lot of people will try you and come and try, and they do that with the salon. So we went back through our records, and we do it religiously now. So every month we will go back. We've got quite a long list, and we go to people we haven't seen, and we kind of segment it over 6 months, over 12 months. And we send them different things. And I've put together a letter. It was all about Michelle losing her cat called Stephen, who she lost. It was she felt that she'd neglected him. Maybe he's found a new home. And the whole point of the letter was, have we neglected you? We miss you. And joyous, guess what? The cat's come back, and we'd love to see you come back through our door. And we give them a good reason to pick up the phone. We do give them a really healthy offer. It's a 4-page letter. There's a picture of Michelle with a cat. I can tell you on here, she doesn't own a cat. She had to go and borrow a cat for the photo. It's all just a story, because we talk about stories being important. It's a story of neglect and a happy ending, and we want you back into the salon. And every time we send that letter, we will hear from customers we haven't heard from. Now, those people probably want to come, just like I want to go back to things, and they've either forgotten me, or they need a good reason, or they've just got busy. We've even had some people say they wanted to come back, but because they haven't been in for a while, they felt guilty for not coming in and using us more often. And because then we opened the door and reactivated them with this letter, they've come in and they know they're welcome, and they know we want to see them. So there's lots of things that go on in people's minds, and I think people do, I haven't been, I'm really sorry, and I had my nails done somewhere else, and they get very, very, defensive about it. But there's no reason to. Any money they spend with us is brilliant. If they come in for one of their treatments with us, then that's good news for us. So what could you do? That letter we will share with you. What version of that letter, what story could you tell? And I think the personal element really matters. People are phoning up, "Michelle, how's Stephen the cat?" Which is of course a bit of a joke in the salon now. But what story could you tell that's gonna you open the door for them, so they think it's great to come back, and they're going to be welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, I think the big thing about all of this is it is that person, but it's having the reason. You know, if you, I mean, you know what, going back to them and just kind of saying, we've not seen you in ages, do you want to buy some more stuff, is actually way better than nothing. But the real thing to do is to look at what you know about them and what you can leverage. So let's look at it kind of practically at a starting point here. You need to get, I mean, first of all, you need to make sure you've got your data in a way that you can interrogate it, for want of a better phrase. So, you know, if you're a financial advisor, you need to know which of your clients have got, I don't know, life cover, when did they buy it, and can you do something for them? You know, and this is, you know, one of the big questions here, you know, what can I sell them again? What can't I do? You know, I mean, you know, you could look at those and say, well, actually, I've never ever spoken to these people about a mortgage. Well, look, I could, you know, I'm not, the way I see it, my financial advisor, his job is to look after my financial life. I don't want to think about it. All the control for taking more money from me is in his hands if he does something about it. You know, and that's a big one. So you need to make sure you've got that to start with. But so, you know, so your first thing, you've got your data moving. Then look at them. What do you know about them? What can it be? What have they bought from you? When did they buy it? What goes well with that? You know, what is the reason for getting in touch? And once you've got something like that, you can then start to make the links for them. And again, with this, the more personal, the better. And I get, you know, this is easier if you've got, I don't know, 20 to 50 clients. It's more difficult if you've got 100, but there will still be something there. You know, if you have got, lots and lots of clients, you know, then something like the Stephen the Cat letter is great because it doesn't need to be about them. You know, the linking factor is that, you know, you feel that you've lost them, you've got that root of it. But for lots of you guys listening to this now, you'll have 10, 15, 20 good clients that you can go back to with something personal to them. You know, this is a real kind of big, and it, you know, it can be, you know, you'll see it on the screen at the bottom right there. You know, that could work for all sorts of different industries. As part of our standard reviewing process, we've looked at your ABC and we've realised that the rates are changing. We think we can do something for you. We'll have a look and let you know. Because that's a lovely thing from a service industry to drop into my inbox, to have a little letter, because I feel like I've been cared about. I'm not thinking this is going to cost me more money. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking that I'm going to be cared about. So this is your kind of your starting point now. So once we've got that, kind of where can we kind of get to? And again, it is a bit where I don't think I'm always useful, because thinking is key. You know, with all this kind of stuff, you've got to think about it. You know, what have these people got in common? What can I send them? But similarly, and again, it's difficult. You don't need to overthink it. You know, a lot of the thinking you've done, you've kind of got there. You know you're going to do it. Just get in touch. Make it about them. Give them a nudge to something that they know they do. They're that, because you'll know what they've bought. Even if you're saying, "Hey, Paul, how's that great mug? Have you seen our brilliant sauce or accompaniment to it?" You know, it's something else that you can do, and that's kind of the next big thing. So when you've worked out who you've got your data, you've worked out kind of what you know about them, what can you then offer them? You know, is there something that goes really well with what they've got? You know, if you're a guy that sells shoes, you know, sell them some great socks. You know, if you're a financial advisor, sell them a different package. You know, if you are, you know, someone that sells, you know, pet supplies, well, look, there'll be something else. You know, this week's top 10 things for, you know, our favourite fluffy friends, and just put something involved, because you know already that these people are in your target market. So they are prime for hearing from you. And we know that they like you enough to trust you to part money with you before. So there's a good chance that they'll do it again.
And whether it's B2B or B2C, it doesn't matter, because it's still a person. So even if you are a B2B business, if you know the birthdays of the people that you normally deal with, you know, use things like that as a reason to go back. Birthdays, anniversaries, anniversary of your business, anniversary of theirs, that kind of thing. It's just a way to be able to unlock and a reason to go back, to get back in contact with them so they remember you. You'll be surprised what you can unlock. And people, don't be too, I think we can be a little bit polite and think, oh, I don't want to bother them. They haven't been in, so they don't want what I've got. And 99% of the time, that is absolutely the opposite. They do. They've just forgotten. They're busy. We're all so busy. We've all got so much going on. So if you can remind them and tell them that you're there and give them a great reason, I promise that they'll pick up the phone, or they'll go to your website, or they'll come in to see you.
And I think the big one here is, it is kind of the remembering bit. None of you are sat there twiddling your thumbs. You've all got busy lives. You've all got stuff on. But there is genuinely a pot of cash here for you to grab with both hands now, but it takes action. And this is again where something like the CRM comes in. I have a CRM, but I also have a VA that will occasionally just nudge me and say, "Hey, Paul, have you spoken to Julia in a while?" So you need to find a way to do it. And whether it's a little monthly reminder that pops up in your diary, put that in now. Go to your calendar and block out the first of the month to speak to old customers, and just have a list of people that you can go and think about, what can I send to that person? Because this is a real biggie. A real biggie. I mean, there's examples all over the place of people making a lot of money from this, and I don't want to say easy money because that's not fair, and it's not necessarily, but it isn't the most difficult money that you've got, and this is a way that you can do it. So you need to find yourself a way to remember. Ideally, you've got a good CRM system running that every month or every 2 weeks, whatever it is, pops up, contact these people, and it's got them on a kind of a timed route, whatever it is. But this, you need to find a way to get this into your business life, because this is where some of your money comes. And it has the effect of making these people raving fans, and it has the effect of getting them to talk to other people. Oh, I had a lovely note from the guy that I brought my car from the other day. He's wondered if this and this might be useful. We're popping down next week to have a look. I don't know. There's all kind of stuff out there that you can do that will make people buy more from you and be much happier doing it.
Yeah, they're just going to feel so special. That's the point. I think Paul said right at the beginning, it's all about, it helps you build your relationships. And people, it's great when someone does it. Honestly, when was the last time it happened to you? When did a business get in contact with you and in a really nice way nudge you, remind you, help you? Because that's what it is. You're going to help someone get that anniversary meal booked. You're going to help get those flowers sent. Whatever it is, you're actually helping people, and they'll like you more for it. And the relationship part here, it just builds the ongoing and builds your business. It's kind of huge foundations then. We've systemised ours now. So going back again to what Paul said, it's every month we pull out 20 or 30 people we haven't heard from, and those letters go out. And obviously we're not sending the Stephen letter every time. We know it's kind of, we are changing that letter.
One unlucky cat.
Yeah, it just keeps disappearing. But it systemises it's part of what my reception team do. So on the X day of every month, that's what they do. They pull out the 20 records, and a letter goes into an envelope. And it's not hard, it's not difficult, and every single time we do it, it brings in money, sometimes a lot of money.
So look, what next, guys? As ever with this kind of thing, the rewards are there for people to take action. So, big things I would do, I would definitely book some time. And, it can't be hours and hours and days, but book some time in your diary specifically for customer reactivation. Next, if you haven't got your database in a way that you can use it, that needs to happen. Now, if you've got a load of business cards, I'd suggest sending it to a VA or something like that, but get it in a way, a spreadsheet of people that you have spoken to, you've done some business before, is way better than nothing. Ideally, there's a chance that you can segment it a little bit, but the big thing is get it into a way that you use it, and then, as ever, just take action. Do something today, tomorrow, and start to push it forward. Because like all of this stuff, once you do it, it becomes a bit like a drug, because you want to do more. And I promise, this is a big way to get results. And it's really simple stuff. Don't overthink it. You know these people know you. I bet for most of you here, there are 10, 15 people that you could pick up the phone this afternoon, this morning, tomorrow, whenever it is, and ask the question, do you want to buy something more off me? Now, I'm not suggesting you use those words. You know what? It might work, but there are people that you know well enough that are past customers that you could ring up and say, hey, Steve, I've seen this great thing. I think it's absolutely perfect to go with that widget that you brought last month. Why don't I drop you an email with some details, and I tell you what, there's a bit of a cheeky offer on there. But the key to this, guys, don't overthink it. Don't do lots and lots and lots. Just get something happening today.
Brilliant.
Guys, simple stuff there. Loads of stuff that you can do. Keep it simple. Make it happen. You guys have got this. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.